Hello and welcome to episode number 127 of WP Café, the show where we share the real, unfiltered experience of running a WordPress business. I'm Keith Devon and I'm joined by my co-host Mark Wilkinson. We are from Highrise Digital, a tiny agency building WordPress websites and products. Today we're diving into a few topics, including accessibility audits, using AI for business coaching and more. So yeah, make yourself comfortable, grab a brew, and let's get going. Before we get started, you can follow us over on X. We're at WP Cafe Show. Find us on Blue Sky, and our website is wpcafe.show. And if you do like the show, if you've been listening for a while, or if this is the first time listening or watching on YouTube, please do give it a like. Consider subscribing. All that stuff really helps, and we massively appreciate it. Also, if you are watching along live on YouTube, please do consider just saying hello in the comments, and we'll give you a little shout out. And also, if you've got any questions or comments along the way, please stick them in there. We love a bit of audience interaction. So let's get going. Mark, we haven't actually spoken to each other for a couple of days, so how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah. I was off yesterday playing golf, which is nearly the close of the season now, so it's quite finishing off. But a few more to go, and then we haven't caught up this morning, have we? So we've not had a chat. But yeah, to this week, it's been quite slow actually. This last few weeks, which has been nice actually. I think we've obviously had a summer break from this, and summer breaks because of holidays and various things going on, which means things have sort of taken a little bit of a back burner. So it's been nice to get back into it in the coming weeks. Dig into some stuff and new stuff coming up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Be good.
Yeah, cool.
Looking forward to it. What about you?
Yeah, it has. It's potentially been slightly busier on my side of things recently. It's been a bit of front-endy stuff and a bit of RecPress stuff keeping me busy. So yeah, working on that new kind of homepage and slightly updated design for the SR Group, which has been really fun. I've enjoyed that, and I've learned a few new things and flexed a few skills and learned a few new skills. So that's been really good. And then a couple of RecPress builds and things. So yeah, been enjoying it.
Yeah, I was chatting to my wife before, and she was saying, what have you been up to in your work? What's been happening? And I was like, to be honest, I've not been that busy really. Most of it seems to be Keith at the moment, and then we're kind of waiting for some projects to hopefully kick off, and then I'll get back into it. So it's all been a bit bit slow on my side.
It does swing back and forwards. Like I've had periods where I feel like I'm scratching around for stuff to do, and I feel guilty because it seems like you've got loads on your plate, and then at the minute it's the other way around. So whatever, it's fine.
How it works, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
Couple of shout outs. X-Lams, thank you for joining us. It has been a long time. Yeah, I don't know when the last one was, but it was it must be 4 or 5 weeks ago, I think, wasn't it?
And the rest.
Yeah,
we took a long summer break, I think, and then this is our first in September. So
and Jackson, ciao from a sunny Puglia. Is that in Italy?
Puglia. Yeah,
I think it sounds Italy. Yeah, it does.
Sounds Italian. Yeah.
It's far from sunny here in northwest England. It's kind of like, well, don't I say that? Looking out the window right now, can see some sun. But it does seem to we get every 4 seasons every day for the last 3 days up here. It's been torrential rain, cold, warm, sun, wind, everything. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's a bit like that here. It's probably like slightly on the warmer side, but yeah, we've had some proper torrential downpours, like really short, like it absolutely tips it down. Listen to us, the Brits talking about the weather. There's a surprise. Shall we jump into our first topic?
Yeah, so I think you added this one, so I'll sort of introduce it. So you put this plugin in the notes, just looking at the show notes. It's called Accelerate plugin. I believe it's a human-made
certainly is
beta product, I think. I don't think it's fully out of beta yet, is it?
No, I think you're right.
And when you posted it somewhere, and I saw it, was it on Twitter or something, and then you put it in the notes? Oh no, it was one of our clients. You sent it to one of our clients.
Sent it to one of our clients.
It kind of does something that's interesting for them. I watched the little video from, I think it's Joe from Human Made, just showing a little demo. I thought, that looks quite exciting. So I presume what do you think of it? What does it do? What excites you about it, do you think?
So I think I will try. Just really, just as an aside, I'm just on their homepage, and their headline is "Unleash the Power of WordPress Blocks." I'm sorry, Human Made, that is awful. I just like, what the hell does that mean? And I would not predict what that means. Like, if I'm a WordPress developer, and there's a product called Accelerate plugin, and all I know about Accelerate plugin is it unleashes the power of WordPress blocks. The fact that it is an A/B testing plugin would be far down the list of what I would expect that plugin to do. So just a little, maybe your marketing is on point and I'm wrong, but I think you'll probably agree with that, Mark. You're always whinging about website headlines, aren't you, and how meaningless they are. Anyway, so it unleashes the power of WordPress blocks, Mark. What it actually does is allow you to do A/B tests natively within WordPress blocks. Now, I haven't used it, so I kind of wish I had. I should have downloaded it and given it a little go. But what it looks like is that you can essentially create like a group. And I don't know if they've got their own, they must have their own block then that's like a group block. So you can just like select a number of blocks, wrap it in this new A/B testing block, I guess. And then that allows you to add variations of that like pattern, we'll call it from now on. And then you've got analytics within the WordPress editor, essentially. So then I can click on that part of my homepage. I can view the tests that are running, and I can see which one's performing best. So I can see, and I think there's different ways you can, different things you can analyze, different kind of call to actions or whatever. You can segment it by audiences and things. So it's pretty flexible in terms of what you're trying to track and who you're trying to kind of target and all that kind of stuff. But I just thought it was super cool because we've had clients before. The client I sent this to, who has had real headaches doing any meaningful A/B testing on their websites. So they've obviously tried kind of third-party services that are external, and then they use JavaScript to swap things out, and it's just a total mess. And I just thought this was really neat. Like, it's just like you've got a call to action on the bottom of a homepage, and you want to try out 2 different headlines. Go, done. 5 minutes later, it's done. Let it run for a while. See which one performs best. Keep that one, or test a new one, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just it's really, really nice. And I think there's a personalization element to it as well. So you can show different variations to different user segments and things. I don't know. I can see it here based on geolocation, referrer, UTM parameters, devices, all kinds of different things. So yeah, super cool. Obviously, the guys and girls at Human Made are top-notch developers. They know what they're doing. So I really kind of trust that this will be a good product. So I'm really keen to give this a go. There is a free tier. You do have to sign up to an account because the analytics themselves are handled off-site.
I think that's the difference with this one. Then it says here. So
yeah,
just reading it. It says, "Here's our secret: Accelerate architecture is built for enterprise scale. Unlike other plugins that run resource-heavy operations on your server, Accelerate offloads the heavy lifting, analytics processing, A/B logic, and personalization rules to our own optimized backend infrastructure."
So I think it's worth, because I don't think we've mentioned it yet, but there's an obvious competitor to this.
Yeah.
From friend of the show, Paul Halfpenny, and his team, called, is it Personalized WP? Is that
Personalized WP, yeah.
So by Filter Agency. So that's personalizedwp.com. Now these look incredibly similar.
They do, don't they? I thought when I first looked at this plugin when you sent it, I was like, oh, that's very personalized WP like. Yeah. Maybe the differential here is that this is off-site handling, whereas that one isn't. I don't know that for sure, but
I'm sure there's more differences as well. Personalized WP, by the way, from my point of view, looks just as good. I'm not like promoting one or the other, and it also has a free version. and I don't know what the limitations are between free and pro on both of them. It does look to me like personalized WP has slightly deeper integration around WooCommerce. So I could be wrong about that, but they definitely, from their kind of marketing material from the front end of the website, it looks like WooCommerce is more of a concern for them. So if you're building e-commerce sites, that might be something to consider. But yeah, they both look really, really great, and I'm keen for us to get into this side of things a little bit more, because I think this is where we can really add proper value to relationships, especially ongoing relationships. And we've talked before about how we build these great websites for our clients, and then over 3, 4, 5 years, they potentially go a little bit stale, and we're not really being that proactive. This is a tool that can allow us to, and the client, to be a bit more proactive about the website. Let's test a few things out. Let's see what works and what doesn't. Let's really try to drive the metrics in the right direction, rather than like, here's a pretty design, we turn that into a really great editing experience, job done. See you in 4 years.
I think these tools are wonderful tools, but I've always said my big concern with A/B testing things and doing this sort of stuff is that you need a lot of traffic on your website for it to actually work. There's no point running a test for 2 weeks and they're like, oh yeah, well 50% like that one and 48, and so forth. Oh well, how many people actually landed on? Oh, it was 12. 12 people landed on the page, and it showed. So it doesn't really give you a decent enough results. So obviously this says like it's for enterprise.
Do have high traffic? Some of them.
They have high enough traffic, I would think. Yes, but
I would think so.
I would. Some don't. Most do, but some don't. And most websites, I would say, are not getting thousands and thousands of hits on pages. So it makes it more difficult to get some meaningful data, or you have to run it for longer, a lot longer, maybe. I don't know. Just something to think about.
But that's okay, right? Like, because you can set some of this stuff up on day one, and then you check in 2 years later and be like, oh, hang on a second, we've got some really good data here. We'd kind of like forgotten about it, but it's here. It's been tracking it the whole time. And we have 30,000 visits on the page, and a clear winner in terms of like the variation. And you could,
but also the longer you test it over, then other external factors might influence the result rather than just what you're doing on the page.
I agree with that.
So, I agree with that. For example, if you were testing out payment gateways or something, or different logos or something, you might, for example, there might be a trend towards a payment gateway in society and in the community that takes people to one rather than the other. And it's got nothing to do with your website. It's just the fact that that's where people have gone towards, if that makes sense, over a longer period of time. So it's not actually your website that's having that influence. It's just that's what happens in the world, if that makes sense. So, but yeah, they're good. I think it's worth having a look at, definitely, for sure. But we'll see how it progresses and develops. But it does look a nice interface. Both plugins look a nice interface, and certainly worth checking out.
And they're both WordPress VIP teams, aren't they?
Exactly.
So, they know what they're doing.
They're going to be good.
And they're going to be well supported and well built. So yeah, really cool stuff.
So I think it's personalizedwp.com, isn't it? I think the filter one.
It is.
And then
personalized with a Z, Americanized.
Yes, wp.com. And then the human-made one that we've obviously talked about is Accelerate plugin. Is it plugin? Yes.com. Yep. So do take a look at those two if that's something that your customers or yourself, obviously, is going to find interesting.
Yeah. Before we get into, I actually haven't put one of our main topics on our list, but that's all right.
Okay.
Let's just do it in order. Who cares? Okay. Accessibility audits.
Yes.
So this has come because a client of ours forwarded an email, like an internal email. Someone had, I can't even remember what it's called now, but someone had come across some legislation that I think is EU specific around accessibility on websites, specifically websites with, I think, commercial transactions, it looked like to me.
That was the crux of it, wasn't it?
And basically it was forwarded on to us, and it was like, should we be doing something about this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not a lawyer or solicitor. I don't understand all these things, but it doesn't really look like it. But it did open up the conversation around accessibility in general. And I went back to the fact that in our proposal, we said that we would be kind of doing our best from an accessibility point of view along during the build, but we would highly recommend a third-party review at the end of the project to catch things that we don't know how to test for. That didn't happen at the end of the project, so I've kind of suggested that again. They don't seem massively keen on that for some reason. Like they just keep ignoring the suggestion of going with the third party, which I don't really understand why. But essentially, what's ended up happening is we've ended up quoting to do some accessibility testing, reporting, and fixing, which in one sense I'm very happy to do because I know that there's going to be stuff that we can find and fix. I know that for a fact. But I also know that there's going to be stuff that we probably can't find, and there might be stuff that we do find and are going to struggle to fix.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where that leaves us. So we've basically said we'll spend 2 days. Like that's how we've kind of pitched the project: a day of testing and reporting, a day of fixing what we find, and then that sort of, from their point of view, it proves that they're making some efforts towards accessibility. We'll hopefully catch the low-hanging fruit and the big, scary issues. So we will be making improvements, but we'll probably miss some stuff, and there's probably going to be some stuff in there that we aren't going to be able to fix within that time. So there's not going to be a fully compliant website at the end of it. So it's just an interesting kind of situation to be in, I guess. I don't know what your thoughts are around the whole thing.
So I think firstly, it's probably worth pointing out that if someone sends an email like they did and says, are we compatible essentially with this, or compliant, I think the word we can't actually answer that because we're not experts. So that's something different. But then also, what is their goal? Is their goal to, because if they're saying, well, do you want to be accessible? Then surely the answer is always yes. Like it's never going to make the website worse, is it? Yeah. So why would you say, well, no, I'm not bothered about that? It's just how much budget is it worth and what the benefit to the customer is essentially. And then in terms of, I think it's important to say why we wanted an independent person to look at this is because we don't have the tools to actually recreate the problems. So one simple example is like a screen reader. Yeah, I don't have the tools to create a script. I mean, I could probably install loads of stuff and get a screen.
But you would have never used it before. You're not a natural
But I've never
user.
used it before. I don't know how to do it properly. So that's the sort of thing where you need the expert to say who has all those pieces of software running on the computer. They know how they work. They use them more than I do. They can use those to run them and test and check whether things are actually working as they should do. So that's why we always recommend a third party. And then in terms of the audit that we said we'd do for them, we're obviously going to be looking at the WCAG standards and seeing where we think the website falls down on the standards. Mm-hmm. We're not only going to tell them that, we're going to split that into what is wrong with the code. So, like we're missing X off the code, or we need to rebuild this menu to make it keyboard navigatable or whatever.
You do need to do that.
that's I know that's probably the biggest one, isn't it, that we know about.
That is, yeah.
That's something that we will do, and then that we're going to split it into other things like what they need to do, because actually a lot of accessibility is content, isn't it? It's like alt text not on images is the most basic one. It's color contrast if you're using colors in the block editor. It's things like transcripts for videos if you really want to be compliant in that sort of thing, rather than having just the video there. And they're all things that, I mean, we could do that, but it doesn't seem to make sense when the client can just do that easily themselves rather than paying us. So I think we'll deliver that sort of, here is the audit that we found in the time we've got to do it. This is the stuff we need to do, and we can quote for that, and put some timescales and quotes on that. And this is the stuff that you need to do. And then you can, and if you need help with how to do that, that's what we're here for. That's the sort of thing we're going to proceed with.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the goal, I guess, is for them to be compliant, right? So they can say, our website complies to WCAG AA 2.2 or whatever, right? That is almost by definition unachievable. Because A, are we testing every single page on the site so that we catch every image that doesn't have an alt tag, every bit of text that has a background color that's not, you know, the contrast ratio isn't good enough. So from a testing point of view, unless I'm missing something that can automate all that, then there's probably tools. Again, we're not experts. We don't know. We don't have these tools. I think that's an impossible goal. But also, I can say your website, say you can do that, and you've literally caught everything. I can only say that for that exact point of time when I've finished the audit and it's done. The next day, it might be incompatible again or non-compliant because they have now gone and added another page with another image. So they can never truly say that their website is compliant in my eyes.
But I guess that's the same with all industries that have that sort of compliance. You're only ever testing at the point in time that you're testing, aren't you? So you know, you've just got to do your best at that point.
Exactly.
BP says government clients are required to do accessibility compliance. I thought it was everybody, was it not?
No, I don't think so. I don't think legally. This is the thing. I don't really know.
I thought legally you had to.
I'm much more interested in BP's previous comment. I think he means being accessible can be worse. Not being accessibility can be worse. So being accessible can be worse. How? How so? I am interested in that comment.
Worse than not being accessible, I presume it means.
How can making a website more accessible be worse? I genuinely don't know. I'm really interested to know what he means by that. So BP, if you can back that up, or I'm happy to dig further into your thoughts there and see what you mean, because I find that's a really interesting comment. So that's kind of where we're at. We haven't heard back about whether they're going to go ahead with what we're offering.
What I have found is some automated plugins that you can use, which will find some of the issues, so we can have a look at those and dig into those as well.
Absolutely,
as part of when we do the audit. I think
there's actually lots of good free site checker tools as well that you can just stick a URL in, and it gives you a lot of feedback on it. So it can catch a lot of the color contrast stuff and the keyboard accessible stuff and things not having ARIA labels and the markup not being structured properly and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure we'll catch a lot of it.
It'll be interesting to see when we do this, how much of what we catch is core WordPress? You know, for example, we're using a details block. We can't change fundamentally what that looks like in terms of markup and things. Is it accessible? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
We will. So there you go. So yeah, we'll keep people updated on that. I hope we do win that work, actually.
Yeah, it'd be good
just to go through that process. I think that'll be really good for us to go through the process. So we will keep listeners and viewers updated. Next up, I just wanted to kind of mention some business coaching. So we had a conversation. I guess it's the result of, you know, you're away for a bit over the summer and you're doing some thinking and where are we going with the business and stuff like that. And I've kind of come back, and I guess like a lot of people this time of year, you know, you start thinking about kind of strategic kind of stuff, and are we focusing on the right things? And I feel like we're kind of lacking a bit of focus and direction. I think you agree. We had a conversation the other day about potentially hiring a business coach, which we've done a little bit of before. Worked with a guy called James in the past. It was pretty good, actually, and I enjoyed working with him. And we were just talking about, should we do that again? And we looked at some costs of some people in the space, and we're like, God damn it, that's expensive. Like, not expensive if they can guarantee results, but they never can. So I thought, okay, let's use Bob. Let's use ChatGPT. Because this should be the stuff it's really good at. Like, in a way, maybe some people would argue with that, and I probably would as well. But at some level, this should be the stuff it's really good at. Like, it has human knowledge, like, at its fingertips. It it has read all of the business coaching, marketing manuals that there have ever been. It knows all this stuff. It has more context than any human could have about the state of any industry, marketplace, whatever. It can know about me. I can tell it about my personal preferences and goals. I can tell it about your personal preferences and goals. It should be good at this, really. And it's been an interesting kind of experiment. So I started off trying to keep it high level. I kind of had it. I knew that it was going to try to like narrow down to solutions really quickly. So I was like, right, pretend you're a business coach. Ask me kind of one question at a time, and like to kind of get a sense of where we're at as a business. And try, I think I used the term holistic, try to get a holistic view of where we are. So like, financially or personal preference or all these things. You get consider everything that's going on is what I was trying to say. I needed to be more explicit about that because it didn't do that. So I think its first question was like, okay, so thinking about the last 5 years, what are the 3 projects that have been the best projects for you? And I listed 3 projects and why they were the best projects. And that's okay. So it looks like, this kind of work, is stuff that really lights you up. It's like, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. And then I'll ask the next question. But within like 2 or 3 questions, it was suggesting strategies. Okay, so you should definitely focus on recruitment websites and do X, Y, and Z. I'm like, hang on a second. You haven't asked me a single thing yet about the product side of our business. So you've gone straight into what's your favorite projects. Okay, that's your favorite type of project. Focus on this and use this marketing strategy within like 4 questions. So I had to keep pulling it back up. I kept saying, okay, park that. Those are good ideas, but can we zoom back out again? Look at it from the top, and go again. And you haven't asked me about the products yet. And it's like, in its very positive way. Oh yeah, great catch. We haven't looked at this thing yet.
I hate it when it does that.
Relentless positivity grinds me down. I really hate it. I think it's because I'm a kind of glass half empty kind of guy. But yeah. But it has been good though. Like I would say that it has come up with some interesting ideas.
Such as
partnering with branding agencies. It's something we've talked about before. Like we love the build craft, and the design part of it is missing from our skill set. And I personally love working on really good designs. Like that SR Group project, the first time round, They hired a really expensive design agency. I really loved bringing those designs to life. They've now got a new designer in-house who's come up with a slightly new design, and I've loved working on that. Same with the school websites that we've worked on. I've loved working on with good designers. So I thought actually that's a really good idea, and potentially that is another kind of marketing channel for us, because like marketing is a problem for various reasons, and like if we can build up some partnerships, maybe we get some work, that fills the pipeline up a little bit, because we've got 5 branding agencies that occasionally send us work. So I thought that was a good idea. It's had some, once I did get it onto the product side of things, it's had some interesting ideas around products. The one that jumped out at me was some kind of bundle. It's something we've spoken about before with WordPress and Job Relay. But it did have questions that I couldn't answer because you're on those sales calls, the Job Relay sales calls. So it was like, what is the main objection when you raise WordPress? Like, is it price? Is it timescales? Is it whatever? And I was like, I don't actually really know. So there was some stuff around that and some like pricing ideas and things. So one of the cool bits actually was I was trying to explain, like, give it an overview of the Job Relay and WordPress kind of financials and kind of growth and stuff like that. And I literally took screenshots of the Stripe billing page of each and just said, here you go. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. Okay, yeah. So I can see that Job Relay is a mature product that has a annual recurring revenue of X, but growth is slow. But WordPress is a bit smaller, but it's growing much faster. Maybe we should focus on that. You know, it's like, oh my god, yeah. Like, I knew it would be able to read a screenshot, but the fact that I can just upload a screenshot of financial data and it can interpret it, it still feels like magic to me. So that was pretty cool.
That doesn't surprise me, actually. I mean, just changing the subject completely, I have a box of golf balls in my office here that I've collected, like good ones from the course.
Yeah.
And I wanted to count them all. And I just thought, I wonder if you can count them all. So I tipped them all onto the floor, took a picture of it, and said, how many golf balls are in this picture? Got it right within about 4 seconds.
Jeez.
Then I counted them, and it was right. And it was just randomly on the floor.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I think... So what I've learned is that you have to work hard to stop it going straight for solutions.
Okay.
And I think I would, and give it context. Keep giving it context, like zooming back out, giving it the bigger picture, and you get better and better results, because what it's good at is holding all of that data in its head and finding the links that you don't necessarily, I'd find it harder to see. So yeah, it's cool. It's good. And I think because I've got like memory turned on, so it's remembering everything from previous chats and stuff. So it's constantly learning more and more and more about me, about Highrise Digital, about our products, and so yeah, I think it's getting better and better at giving advice, which is cool.
The answer to those 2 questions, by the way, what was the question? What puts people off buying WordPress when they've got Job Relay? I think was what you asked. Cost is one thing.
Yeah, so maybe the bundle thing would help.
And the other thing, two other things. One, most is not right. A lot of customers already have a job board. So to try and convince them that they need another one is difficult.
Yeah.
But
that's not really an objection at that point. It's just like they just don't need it. It's not like they're looking for it.
Okay, yeah. They don't need it. Okay, but should we want to be trying to sell it to them? Because it is better than what we've got most of the time. Anyway.
I know what you mean. It's different though, but yeah.
The other one is they are very hesitant passing that part over to us, because that's the website part, essentially. And if they've already got a developer building the website, I get it, really. It's like, why would we want to just get them to do this bit? And it's
really?
An uneasy separation of duties, isn't it? We're then diving into the front end and messing with the website code. And
I've had really good relationships with the web developers. Like, I think I get the impression that they're quite often relieved that they don't need to deal with this part of the website, because what they're good at is Elementor 90% of the time, and they don't have a clue.
I'm talking about the customer, not the developer. So when you're talking to a customer, they're hesitant to introduce another party into the website. So not only have you got, hosting company, designer, developer, Job Relay as the plugin for doing this, then you'd have someone doing the job board WordPress. It's introducing another element to that list of things, and most people want to try and keep that list of things as short as possible. That's my sense from talking to a lot of clients.
Yeah. Why is what I'd really want to know. Like,
yeah,
what specifically is it about that list getting longer that is painful to them? I wonder. Do they think that too many different parts means that it's more likely to fail, or is it the admin of like all the extra invoicing and payments and stuff?
I think all of the above. And also, if I want to do X on my website, who do I now go to? Because I've got these 6 different people that are involved with the website.
Yeah,
there's that sort of thing as well.
I think that is something that we could potentially come up with some words around, in terms of allaying that fear slightly. Like, this is how
I'm sure we could.
Yeah, this is what we do. Like, we work on that. Is what WordPress is. It's working on sites that already exist, that already have a developer. So we've done it before and it works. It's a proven thing, and we deal with that part, because quite often I reckon a lot of these companies probably don't have any ongoing relationship with the web developer. It's very much an ad hoc thing. I would guess at the level that we're working at, it's probably quite often someone's built the website or is building the website, and then they'll probably not be retained. And actually, us saying we will be there for you ongoing, for this key part of your business website.
I think there's a lot we could do to enhance that offering and make them understand. I don't disagree with ChatGPT in that aspect. I'm just saying that those are the reasons why it comes across as to why they're hesitant.
Yeah.
And I think cost is a big one, because I don't know this, but a lot of the customers that we integrate Job Relay for, I am going to guess that they've paid no more than £3,500 for the website. If that. So if you're going to come in and say, well, RecPress is £670 a year, it's a huge part of that cost for one little bit of the website. Now, you could argue it's a big bit of the website that does a lot of work for them. But I get that as well. It's like, hang on a minute, this is like a third of the price of my website. Why? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it does from my point of view, but maybe we need to do a better job of...
Also, I
was going to say, a better job of explaining that.
Yeah.
Getting that across to them. But, we've kind of gone off topic of business coaching. We've kind of gone into...
the conversion rate's interesting. But this came up in the chat with ChatGPT. We talked about the conversion rate. So it was asking how we sell RecPress, and I was like, well, it's pretty much just an upsell from Job Relay. And it was like, okay, well, what's the conversion? And I roughly looked at it, and we'd had 60 new Job Relay customers in the last year, say, and it was 12 new RecPress customers. So you've got a conversion rate there, which is interesting and pretty good. So I think it sells really well. We're just not getting it in front of enough people, and I think that's always been the problem, because it doesn't need to just be an upsell to Job Relay. It works independently of Job Relay, and I think could benefits probably most recruitment agencies that are on WordPress. A RecPress job board would be a better job board. So yeah, interesting.
Moving on.
A couple of little things.
A couple of little things. So I got the latest what's new for developers. I think it was the new WordPress developer news blog thing that you get out. It comes in my inbox. I usually have a quick scan down it and see what's there. And this week there was a new block which I was interested in, and it's an accordion block. So I thought that is interesting. It's one block that I think most people will probably be creating some way or another, whether they're using an external block library, maybe things like Elementor has them in. I don't know, but accordions are a big part of websites these days, and we didn't have a block for it. We've used the details block, slightly customized version of the details block to do accordions, linking them together with a group and things. But this does seem to be, I think, a sensible idea to introduce an accordion block and get them standardized in people's sites of how they work. Apparently, it's introducing 3 different blocks, which I can't remember what it was. Was it like a heading, a wrapper, a panel? I can't remember. And then you put them together to make an accordion block, I believe.
There's an accordion group, and then accordion items in each one, or something like that.
Yeah, accordion group, accordion trigger, content. It was called. I think there's different blocks. So I don't know what happened. Does it drop all those blocks on when you drop a block on the accordion group on the page? I don't know. I haven't used it, but I thought it was interesting to see that block's coming along. I hope they're going to build it so it's accessible and keyboard accessible from the get-go. Why wouldn't we be doing that right now, to solve that problem? But the little demo that was on in the sort of the newsletter that came through, it takes you to a GitHub repo, and there's a little video demo in there. You can kind of choose what icon you want from the, like a little arrow or whatever on the right, and then presumably you've got all the design controls that you normally have with blocks for colors and background colors and things. So I think that's got to be a positive thing. It'd be interesting to see what it ends up like. But we'll see.
I'm interested in what the markup is, because I did think this was what the details block was for. So is it using details markup HTML, or is it using something else? And if it is using details, what's the point in the details block now? And actually, I'll ask that anyway. Like, do we still need the details block if we've got an accordion block? I'm not entirely sure what the use case for each is at this point.
My initial thoughts is an accordion, by its name, needs to have more than one element in it.
Yes.
Whereas a details block could just be, and the school that we've built use this a lot, don't they? Like a little headline, and then you can expand, show content.
But that
could exist on its own.
It could, but does it need to when you've got the accordion block? Because it does exactly the same thing if you just put one accordion in, one accordion item. But yeah, I like it. Well, the other thing that's interesting is that this is one of the few times, and probably one of the very few native blocks that I'm assuming is going to have some JavaScript kind of built into it in terms of the functionality.
So according to the link that was sent out, it uses the interactivity API, and it says it uses everything that's already in core. So I don't think it's relying on a third-party library or anything like that. It's just but like I can't.
Apart from the image pop-ups and navigation block, I can't think of anything that uses JavaScript yet on the native blocks. But I'm probably wrong. But most of the blocks we use don't. They just like the details block, for example. It's just HTML.
That works within the browser, doesn't it? If you get the right markup.
Yeah.
The block, I've just got it on the screen now. The block adds an accordion item, accordion header, and accordion panel blocks, and it uses the interactivity API, which has obviously been built for this sort of stuff. Where was the bit that it said? And then the final part was that if you want to use it, you can install the Gutenberg plugin, and you need to go to the Gutenberg menu and go to experiments and turn on experimental blocks, because it's part of that at the moment. Okay. Presumably, this will be coming into WordPress 6.9, I think, which is due in a few weeks, months. So interesting.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's really positive. I think it's something that we've been missing. I wonder what the next obvious thing is. I definitely have said accordions.
Yeah,
or probably the block that I wanted the most.
I think sliders is the other one. Carousel-y slidery thing. Everyone builds them.
It's true.
Why not have a block for them? I mean, we could argue that they shouldn't be using them, but people do. So
yeah, exactly.
Why not have a core block for them?
100%. Yeah,
that can be built accessibly and well and makes sense.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. Yeah, I think that would be a really good next addition. Some kind of card block, but I don't know what that looks like. That's harder.
Not so sure about that, but
yeah, I don't know. It's just such a common interface or UI element now. It's so
haven't we got that though with groups and grouping things together essentially.
You can fake it. Yeah.
So how would it be different?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I just think.
Yeah, I think you're
right. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, moving on. We've done 43 minutes. Last one you added, CSS height stretch. You'll have to explain.
Yeah, this is just something that my friend Mark posted. And it is a new CSS rule value that's coming along. So we've got basically when you're setting the height of something in CSS, if you set the height to 100% or 100 viewport width, for example, or viewport height. So if you want something to kind of fill a screen or fill a container, when you start using padding and margins and things like that, it gets very unpredictable because of the box sizing model that's being used. So even if it's border box, it doesn't necessarily solve the problem.
Okay.
And basically stretch does what you want height 100% to do. So it will fill the height that's available, not take the border box height of its parent, which might not include padding and things like that. Yeah, so it's essentially it's coming soon, but it's one to kind of, for all you CSS nerds out there, it's one of those very exciting small things that you're just like, yes, I can finally do that without having to say things like calc 100 viewport height minus whatever the padding of the parent element is and stuff like that. So yeah, really cool. I just love CSS. I love CSS. It's just constantly getting better and bringing these new great little tools and fixes. And I just wish browsers were basically. I wish Safari could just keep up. It is the new IE. So
yeah, it seems
it's a real shame that Safari isn't kind of on board with all the web standards. But there you go. That's a conversation for another time. Yeah.
Cool. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just before we finish, a little plug and shout out, because if you're in the northwest of England, or if you're not even, the WordPress Manchester user group have started to relaunch their evening meetups. So the first one happened this week. I didn't actually get a chance to go, unfortunately. It's actually happening in Stockport, which is just outside of Manchester. They're doing a bi-monthly evening meetup. So if you want to go along to that, I'm sure it'd be good. Then you can do so. The next one is in November, obviously, with it being bi-monthly. And they also do a monthly in-person co-working meetup where you can just go along on a Friday. You can co-work together, have a chat, which is quite nice. I've gone along to a few of those. Nice chilled way to finish the week.
Yeah.
So a little bit of plug for those, something that's near me, and something that's kind of starting up again, which is good to see.
I'll do a little plug as well while we're at it. 25th of September in London, LoopConf, a WordPress conference by the guy behind WP Sessions and Human Made. So they're putting on a WordPress conference. It looks really good. Lots of cool people, lots of cool talks, great venue, food, etc., etc. I'm going along, so it'd be cool to see other people there. I know there are tickets available, and if price is a concern for people, because it's not necessarily cheap, I think I'm allowed to say that get in touch with Brian, the organizer, send them an email and see if something can be done, because I know that he would prefer people to be there rather than not be there, regardless of how much profit is made. So yeah, really, really cool looking event. I'm really looking forward to it, and it'd be great to see some other people there. So if you're interested, even if you think you can't afford it, get in touch and see what happens.
Be a good event.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. Sorry that we've been away for so long. It's good to be back. As always, please just drop a little like before you go. It makes the world a difference. And hopefully see you next time. See you soon.
See you in the next one. Bye-bye.